The Colorado River is an outstanding example of a river which man has put to his own use. From its source in the Rocky Mountains, the Colorado flows south through Utah and Arizona.
The Colorado River is shared by 7 states, the tribes, and Mexico. So it's really important in the West. It is an oversubscribed river. We always had the numbers wrong when the folks sat down in 1922 and carved up the river between the 7 states, and at that time they didn't give anything to Mexico or the tribes. But when they divided up the river, they thought that the amount of flow in the river was higher than it was. So we're off a few million acre feet, and that's a big deal in the West. So the Colorado River is responsible for, billions of dollars, about $26 billion in economic input, and it supports 250,000 jobs in these 7 states. It generates $17 billion in retail sales. As people compete for this water, all of those things are taken into consideration. And now we have the new thing of climate change, and it's estimated that in the next number of decades, we will be losing 20% of that water due to climate change. So we now have something to contend with that was never planned before. The reservoirs were built for snow melt, and the snow melt, with the water coming down earlier and warmer, it isn't capturing that, so it's like flood releases have to be done, so we kind of lose some of that water. I won't say we waste it, but we lose it. So the addition of climate change, which is real, and scientists agree on it, is going to affect the Colorado River negatively about 20%.
The great reservoir behind Hoover Dam is called Lake Mead. The water is used for irrigation and to supply the homes and factories and cities of Southern California, Arizona, and Nevada. The water also produces electric power for more than 3 million users in the Southwest. The dam itself eliminates...
We're in the midst of a drought in the U.S. that has so far lasted a year. More than half the country, right this minute, at the beginning of 2013, is in serious drought. Almost the entire country west of the Mississippi River, and has been for months. And there's nothing like, as we said, there's nothing like drought to increase awareness of water issues. The question is whether community leaders use the drought to permanently educate people and to permanently change the habits of their communities. The biggest risk to water systems in the U.S. isn't a single event like a tornado or a hurricane, but in fact, the shifting availability of water, drought, or climate change.
I think you have to look at climate change as a global issue. I mean, people look at sitting out on their deck in March because of climate change is a good thing, but if you're lying, right at sea level in Bangladesh and millions of people are going to be displaced, not such a good thing, So it has to be viewed globally.